Welcome to Las Vegas for a very special edition of The Bounce from NBA Summer League. You can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and on yahoosports.com Tuesday and Wednesday. Hey there, everybody. Glad you're here with us. I'm Stephanie Reddy. Steve Smith's down on the end, and in the center, our special guest, Chris Staples. And if you follow basketball, you know this young man. He is possibly the best dunker that I know for sure, maybe in the country. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to just pepper you with some questions because I know I'm curious. You have been in probably countless dunk contests.
Right, correct.
What is your most memorable contest?
My most memorable contest was recently just aired on YouTube. It's called Dunk League, where we had 10 of the top dunkers in the world. And we competed for $50,000.
Oof.
And so we did it in New York City. It took about 4 days of filming, and just to compete with those guys on such a high level, you had to really put your mind to the test and really get creative. So that was one of my best contests ever.
Wow.
First of all, Steph, he's from the Mitten, the state of Michigan.
Let
Right.
him know. Let him
Gotta
know.
let him know. Detroit versus everybody.
I
but
apologize.
Detroit versus everybody.
You gotta let you didn't give him his proper
I-
bio
You're
where you're
correct.
from the Mitten. Chris, I want to talk about what was your favorite dunk of all time?
My favorite dunk
that
of all time.
You executed, not
that I
anybody
ex-
else.
Right,
Good
right.
distinction.
Yes.
My favorite dunk of all time is the 360 under both legs.
Now tell me how do I shot jumpers. I play. How do you work on do you start with the rim at 9.5? I'm like, how do you work on a 360 between the legs?
Well, actually, I think it's all about just evolving. I started off doing 360s, and I was so consistent at just doing a 360 dunk. And then I wanted to evolve that, and that 360 became a 360 windmill. And I started getting that consistently. 360 windmill turned to 360 between the legs, and then it went to 360 under both legs.
Steph, wait a minute,
It just.
I know I'm old, Steph, but 360
crazy.
was the top.
The
Now
highest
you're talking
of the
about a
bars.
360 windmill and 360 between the legs.
Well, I mean, I got the 360 windmill from Vince Carter. When I saw him do it, I was like, okay, how can I do that? And so I just wanted to keep evolving and working on my craft. I studied it like a textbook, and I would say, okay, what can I do better? How can I make that dunk better? And so that's just how I started.
What's the one dunk that you haven't accomplished yet that you want?
The one dunk I haven't accomplished yet is a 720.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. This is unbelievable. 720.
I got close, but it's a really tough dunk.
How do you even stay in the air long enough to spin around that many times? I mean, it doesn't even seem physically possible.
I'm going to talk to our producer, Keith Robinson. Since it's called The Bounce, you should be able to dunk if you come on The Bounce.
Well,
that's going to
I'd
be
be
the
out
criteria.
then.
No, you the host. You should be able to dunk.
I appreciate it.
That might be the criteria coming on The Bounce. But I'm excited. I mean, I watched your stuff, but just to see the creativity. For me, I'm old school. After Dominique and Jordan, I didn't think anybody else. Now Zach and Aaron Gordon. But now it just keeps going next level. Who's your favorite dunker right now in the NBA?
My favorite dunker right now in the NBA, oh, wow. I mean, we haven't seen Zion yet, so I'm thinking he's going to come up soon, but I'm an Aaron Gordon fan. I felt like, in the dunk contest he possibly could have got robbed, but I was happy that him and Zach LaVine both put on such a good show and that they did extra dunks that we didn't expect. But Aaron Gordon, I think by him being as tall as he is to do the versatile dunks he does, kind of puts him over the top.
Smitty, I'm glad you brought up the NBA dunkers because I've been told that you have a job, kind of, where you're a consultant, a dunk contest consultant, where you might coach players. Is this accurate information I've received?
It's pretty accurate. A couple of years ago, I got an opportunity to meet Donovan Mitchell and Dennis Smith when they were in LA for All-Star Weekend. And I had the opportunity to just get on the court, talk to them, and me and Donovan Mitchell, we chopped it up a little bit, and I was asking him what was some of his plans for the contest. And he was telling me, and then I mentioned to him about putting the Vince Carter jersey on because he told me his last dunk was going to be a 360 windmill. And I was like, hey, won't you pay homage to Vince Carter? Do that, throw up the it's over thing. And I said, play to the crowd a little bit.
Why don't you come to Atlanta next year in The Bounce and then take an old guy like me and we practice to see if I can be able to dunk again.
How long do you want him to be there?
It'll be a couple days.
I mean, are you sure that's enough time?
No, we're not going through the legs or anything, Steph, but I just want to get back to dunking. You think you can do that?
I think you can do it. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to do it too much longer, but
okay.
Because
that'd be a good segment.
It would be a good segment. I think
bring me back to dunking.
Hey, that would be good.
Wow. So from under the rim to dunking extraordinaire.
No, just dunking.
If you could pull that off.
That'd be a great consultant job.
That would be tremendous.
I like that.
Back to the level.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
So, it make you feel good, too.
It made me feel good because my kids said I can't dunk anymore.
Oh, really?
Let's talk about your company, Dunk Elite. Is that right? Dunk Empire?
It's Global
Which
Dunk
one?
Empire.
Global Dunk Empire.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tell us about it.
So I started this company called Global Dunk Empire because I've been in the dunk game for a while. I played with the Harlem Globetrotters, and I do dunk contests all over the world. And so I actually want to put other guys on who want to be in that field of dunking. We're here at the Summer League, and, it's a lot of guys that aren't going to be on the NBA court this year. And just because you don't make it to the NBA doesn't mean it's the end of the road. And a lot of people get that, that backlash like, well, you're so good, why aren't you in the NBA? But maybe that might not have been my calling. And so, for guys who are good, I want them to push their talents to the max by, joining Global Dunk Empire, putting themselves on a big-time stage, such as NBA halftime shows and going to dunk contests around the world and displaying those talents on a big stage.
And for me, Chris, let's talk about some young guys because you won't be able to get me to dunk, but I was wishing. But, like, some of the young guys, just say they're 16, 17, 18.
Right.
What's some of the do's or don't of trying to work on your craft or getting your legs stronger that you would speak to young kids about trying to work on being a guy that can increase his vertical also in his creativity?
Well, for me, I think that it's all about your weight. It's about, like, as far as if you look at some of the top dunkers, they're all lean. We got the Kobe Bryants, the Vince Carters, Dominique Wilkins. They were super lean guys. Zion is so different, because he's so big, but he has the explosive power. But I think it's about staying lean. And the do's and don'ts, I would just say, don't work too much on your knees. I see a lot of guys that do the squats and stuff, but, I don't do squats or anything like that. I really just pretty much try to stay physically intact. I do a lot of stair workouts.
Okay.
And
okay.
I think that stuff keeps you in shape, and it keeps your legs healthy.
Okay.
Wow.
That's great.
Right, that's great
advice. Back
in
the day, all the kids thinking you got to squat.
Right.
They always thought about squats.
Or, put on those little shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember
and
those.
I had ankle weights. I was tearing my knees up trying to dunk with the ankle weights.
Oh, and also be careful of dunking, like, on concrete. I mean,
Okay.
the NBA floors are always the best, but, you see a lot of street guys, they have no choice but to be on concrete, but it does mess with your knees a lot.
So you are a YouTube sensation, and since you're our guest, we thought we would ask your opinion about another YouTube sensation.
Okay.
The Bone Collector. And you're giggling because you know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where you're going with
Have
this.
you seen this video?
I actually posted this video. This is it's on my Instagram
Yes,
right
it
now.
is. Look.
Yeah, talk to me about, first of all, what did Floyd do wrong, even before he got crossed?
What did he do wrong?
Before he got crossed.
What he did wrong was think that he could check Bone Collector.
Right.
That was the first mistake. To actually walk up there and say, I'm going to guard him. He is tough to guard, man. Like, I play against him often. Still can't figure it out. It's just some guys you can't figure out. Was it like any guys you ever couldn't figure out in the NBA?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
As far as dribbling, like
okay.
the Allen Iversons, like couldn't take
Isaiah
the ball.
Thomas, the old Isaiah
Thomas.
But right here, you see Floyd doing a good job, though.
He was there. He was
He's
there.
under the rim. I'm putting that under the rim.
The reaching gets you every time.
Yeah, it does. And I think the one thing is when you're so over animated, you gotta start. You can't be over animated when a guy like got all that bang bang and crossing over.
See, with someone like Bone Collector, he's like a scientist when it comes to it. If one thing he's good at is dribbling the ball.
Gotcha.
And so he's perfected that. And so anyone who goes up to him is a victim.
Trouble. Well, we appreciate you being here. We will continue to watch you and all of your dunks on the internet. Hopefully we'll get to see you in person soon. Chris Staples, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check him out online and in social media. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yep, don't forget that. Don't forget.
We won't forget. All right, you guys. There's more bounce coming your way. We're here in Las Vegas for NBA Summer League. We'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll keep you posted on what's happening in and around the NBA, in the world of basketball, and, of course, right here in Vegas. Welcome to a special NBA Summer League edition of The Bounce from Las Vegas. We'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday. You can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and on yahoosports.com. Hey there, everybody. I'm Stephanie Reddy. Steve Smith on the end, and our guest, as usual, is in the center. And we're excited to have Lloyd Pierce here, head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we have a lot to talk about with you.
All right.
We've got some fresh news hot off the press, essentially, with Jabari Parker joining your squad. How do you anticipate that he'll help you guys get to the next level?
I think it's just one of those opportunities where you see a former number 2 pick, an unbelievable talent. I've known Jabari for about 6 or 7 years just through the Nike Elite Skills Academy. I'm excited to add the talent. We have a young roster. We have a young core of guys that we're going to continue to build and grow with. To get Jabari feels like a steal in a lot of ways. And so we've had a lot of conversation about his growth, his development, how we can implement him.
Awesome.
Coach, I'm so excited because, like you said, one, we know he's an unbelievable talent in Jabari Parker, but the guys you drafted along with Jabari Parker, first is they have skill, they have talent,
right,
but they fit your culture, what you're building with the Hawks. And I can say that because I've been there, played for the organization. Building a culture with guys that belong and fit the culture, it only helps us as fans of the Atlanta Hawks and guys who understand the game go, yeah, there's talent, but they don't fit the culture. These two guys, young guys, and Jabari, can you just talk? I was so excited because DeAndre Hunter, I called his games in the Final Four. And then for me, Cam Reddish has a chance, in my opinion. I'm not putting pressure on him because I saw him in high school because I got a chance to see him up and close, and I love the game. His skill set and his size, he's bigger than me, Steph, and can shoot the basketball. And to me, Coach, I was so impressed this year defensively. I thought he's one of the best defensive wings in college basketball, and not having a big year offensively, which we know he can, but he didn't let that hurt his side of the ball of defending.
Well, I think the biggest thing you talked about is the size. And Cam is 6'9", Jabari is 6'9", DeAndre is 6'8", 6'9". We got Bruno inside at 6'10", 6'11". And one of the things I thought we were missing last year with our young core was, Trey's smaller. And Kevin's got some good size, but he's not the biggest to build. I feel I have a lot of versatility to work with in addition to the skill set. And when you talk about, where the guys are in their careers, Cam will be better. I guarantee you that. Cam will be a better player, a pro prospect than he was in college because he can defend. He wants to defend. He's got great lateral movement. DeAndre was ACC Defensive Player of the Year. So the starting point is already pretty good. And Jabari understands the NBA. So we get the experience. I'm excited because I just think the versatility, I can play those guys together. We can move John to the 5, and we can throw him in the mix. Trey is he's going to orchestrate everything we've got going, and he's got lots of tools and lots of options to work with. So there is a reason to be excited about our basketball right now.
I'm glad you brought up Trae Young, especially since we're here in Vegas for Summer League. Everyone remembers how he played last summer. It wasn't horrible, but I think there were some naysayers because they didn't think his shooting was where they wanted it to be. He did nothing but excel in the NBA season. So what is it about this period of the season, Summer League, that kids can learn from and take with them to the regular season?
I think more than anything is just getting the nerves out. To knock a guy after his performance in Summer League is unfair.
Yep.
To hype a guy after his performance in Summer League is probably a little too premature. So just get the nerves out, your opportunity to play against your peers, to play now that you've made it into an NBA roster. It's cool. It's fun. It's an opportunity for us to touch some of the guys, but there's no LeBron. There's no Anthony Davis out there. You can drop 30 out there, but, was Patrick Beverly guarding you?
Right.
They've got to see some of those guys, and that's where it really starts to change. And Trey didn't make shots here, but I thought he played well.
Yeah.
And we saw his shot creation. We saw that he can get by guys. He just didn't make a whole lot of shots last summer.
Coach, when you look at a Trae Young, and I thought for him is being able to handle all the pressure and also the way he played, especially in the second half. What's next in your opinion? And obviously you want to be a little dosage. We're not saying, hey, Trey's going to be the MVP, but what areas do you want to see him just grow, from last year to this year?
In a lot of ways, that's probably the easiest question I have. It's defensively, being pesky. I know his size. I know some of the limitations he's going to have. I want him. He's a pesky offensive player.
Yep.
He's trying to get to the cup. He wants the big shot at the end of the game. He can do the same thing defensively. And so to compete, to stay in the fight, to be pesky, fight through screens, we're going to have better defenders out there. We're going to have versatility defensively. On the offensive side, it's when he gives up the basketball. Where's his growth? Can he get off the basketball so he doesn't have to see a blitz or a hedge all game? And can he move without the basketball? Can he be a second side option? We've got Cam Reddish. We've got Kevin Huerter. We've got Jabari Parker. Guys that are going to need the basketball as well that also can create. He's got to learn to play off the basketball.
I love that. Pesky. I'm going to use that because it goes both ways, like you said. That's terrific. Coach, we wish you good luck in the regular season. We're excited to watch the growth of your young nucleus. I can't wait to see what they're going to do as they develop. And thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it. Appreciate for having me.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Lloyd Pierce, head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. He's got a nice group over there looking to have some success in the regular season coming up. The Bounce is in Las Vegas for the NBA Summer League. We will be here Tuesday and Wednesday. You can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and yahoosports.com. Welcome to Las Vegas. There's a look at the Thomas & Mack Center, the home of the NBA Summer League. We are here for a special edition of The Bounce. Tuesday and Wednesday, you can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and, of course, yahoo.com. Hey there, I'm Stephanie Reddy. Steve Smith, former NBA champion on the end. And look who we've got, another special guest, Malcom Brogdon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we have some business to check off the boxes before we start talking about the good stuff. You played with the Milwaukee Bucks, had an excellent season, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to hear about the decision, how that transition was for you leaving Milwaukee to go to Indiana.
Well, you know, when you're a restricted free agency, and I think Steve can speak a little bit more to this, there's not a lot that's in your control.
Yeah.
When you're restricted, the team that you're currently with can match, any offer that's put on the table. Milwaukee had a chance. The offer, they didn't get a chance to match it, but they, a sign and trade was proposed. And for me, my agent had worked out a really good fit with the Indiana Pacers. They presented the right amount of picks, first, second round, whatever the combination was, and, Milwaukee was willing to do the deal.
Go ahead.
When you look at it, Malcolm, you said perfect fit, and I think it is as well. You have a coach in Nate McMillan that preaches defense, and that's right up your alley. But also you have a coach in Nate McMillan. They play fast, and that's usually the combination of a coach that loves to play defense. They play slow, but they play fast, and it's not tradition where there's one guy has to have the outlet. You watched him play before you were there. Darren Collison got the outlet. Other guys were able to have the outlet. Victor Oladipo can push it.
Yep.
So I think it's perfectly fit for you. You check off the box of defense. Now you check off a guy that's going to play fast with the basketball in his hands.
Absolutely. I think if you look at my background, coming from University of Virginia, it was very defensive-minded, orientated. I got to the NBA. I wasn't used to playing fast, but Milwaukee forced me to play fast, play up-tempo. So now I've got to see both sides of that. And now I go to Indiana where I can put it all together. I can play off the ball as a point guard. It allows other people to handle the ball and make decisions as well. So I think it works out for everybody.
Well, we got to go back to the serious question. Stephanie kind of touched on it, but you got a whole bunch of money now, since we both are from Atlanta, a dinner, lunch, breakfast. Everything's on you now, Malcolm.
I don't know. We still haven't gone out to dinner, so you still got a little bit of ground to make up.
All right. I don't have no problem going out to dinner now.
Hold your ground, Malcolm. Hold your ground. So you have a familiar face that you'll be teamed up with, Jeremy Lamb. You've known him for, fill us in, how long? I know you played together before college. What's that relationship like?
Me and Jeremy have a good relationship. He's always been that older guy. He's a year older than me that was already doing great stuff before I was. So he went to UConn, was the best player in Georgia, then was, a top 10 pick in the lottery. And has had a great NBA career, had a breakout season last year. I think me and Jeremy are going to do great together this coming season.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any of the teammates you've got a chance to talk to, and I know if you talked to Nate, but is there any of the teammates that have reached out and you got a chance to work out with any of those guys yet?
I'm actually supposed to work out with Victor while I'm here in Vegas. Me and Victor have been texting back and forth. He immediately reached out to me. I think he's excited. I'm excited. Miles Turner, a few other guys reached out. So, I think this is going to come together quickly. I'm
glad you brought up Victor Oladipo because how is he doing and how is the progression with him? What should we expect?
Man, I don't know what to expect. For me, looking at Victor from afar, a guy that's as competitive and as hungry as he is, he's going to come back better.
Yeah.
He's going to come back full speed. And he's going to come back and take this team to another level.
You know, Malcolm, I mean, just envision the size of Victor and size of yourself at that guard position. And the way Miles Turner played last year, I thought he's taking it to another level in blocking shots, being aggressive, rebounding. That trio can be a force defensively. How excited are you to have a guy that can play off the ball in Victor, you can play off the ball, and two guys that can, I think, games match as far as playing together?
Man, I'm excited. This team is versatile. They play both sides of the ball. It's almost like a match made in heaven for me, being able to play with guys that are versatile and, want to play, good basketball, want to play team basketball and, win games.
It sounds exciting, especially from a fan's point of view. Have you all talked about any expectations as a group yet? Where do you want to be in the Eastern Conference? Has that come up yet?
No, we haven't. I think people have said, and I think the Pacers believe we can be one of the best backcourts in the NBA, if not the best two-way backcourt in the NBA. I firmly believe that as well. But as a team, I don't know yet. We haven't met yet.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what goals we set for ourselves.
Well, how excited are you, as just anybody in the Eastern Conference? The landscape have changed. I mean, there's been some movement where you start to look right now. I don't know if there's a clear-cut team as of today that you can say is winning the Eastern Conference. So that kind of opens it up for everybody else. For whatever we all say as analysts, where you slide it, you could be up 2 or 3 more slots, or you could be down 2 or 3 more slots.
Right. Well, I think that's the beauty of free agency. People move around so much. There's so many decisions that people aren't looking for that happen. Paul George and Kawhi going to the Clippers, for example, it changes the landscape of the NBA, but also the Eastern Conference. So it's wide open now.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you joining us here on The Bounce. Good luck this season. We can't wait to see you guys play.
Thank you. Thank you for
Dinner
having me.
on Malcolm, yes.
Malcolm Brogdon, ladies and gentlemen, of the Indiana Pacers. The Bounce is from Las Vegas, special edition, right here for the NBA Summer League, Tuesday and Wednesday. You can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and the yahoosports.com. Welcome to The Bounce for special NBA Summer League edition from Las Vegas. We're here Tuesday and Wednesday. You can find us on the Yahoo Sports app and on yahoosports.com. There's a look at the Thomas & Mack Center, which is where we are as we welcome you inside. Hey there. I'm Stephanie Reddy. He is Steve Smith. We're thrilled that you guys are here with us. Steve, we're going to talk about what's been happening in the NBA this summer. Let's start off with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes.
I mean, they're the hot team, right? They have the number 1 pick, Zion Williamson. That's all anyone wants to talk about. He's not playing in Summer League, but there's another kid playing who they also drafted in Hayes, who was amazing yesterday.
Stephanie, I was actually in a meeting and got a chance. You were on air,
yes,
getting a chance to see you cover. And what this kid is doing athletically, the way he's playing, you saw the potential at Texas. It just seems like he is just taking his game to another level within the last 4 or 5 months. He's growing. This is the dunk where, I yelled in our meeting. And I was in a very important meeting, but I couldn't help it because the TV was on. I mean, this is a kid. When you say you finally getting a chance to grow into your body, he was like 6'1" as a freshman, and now you look at his size. Each year he's grown and grown.
Crazy.
And I mean, he has a chance with his activity and his energy and effort. He could be a difference maker. And I thought it would be a couple years, but the way he's playing now, you can put him in some, and he can gain and earn some minutes with the Pelicans.
For sure. I mean, it's not just the athleticism. You can tell he knows how to play the game because you don't get those kind of dunks in game unless you understand the game. Am I right?
For sure. And I think sometimes, in college, you just haven't got a chance. There's not a lot of freedom. You don't have a lot of spacing. And he's showing right now that he's getting better and better. And he's been working since his days he put his name in the draft because I see the kid with a whole bunch of confidence now.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes has some extraordinary days ahead of him. We'll all look forward to watching him and his new teammates. So the Pelicans have an overall new look, obviously with David Griffin being the vice president of basketball operations. Executive vice president, Hire Trajan Langdon, general manager. Our own Swin Cash as vice president. And then their draft picks. What are we expecting out of them this season?
Well, first of all, obviously, give the Pelicans credit. They got the number 1 pick, which is fantastic for them. They went crazy.
Yeah.
We all knew that would 99.99 it was going to be Zion Williamson. But I think also what Griff did after that was just fantastic. When the kids I love, that the kid Nikhil Alexander Walker from
Yes.
Virginia Tech, I'm a huge fan of his. If you look at all the draft picks and the trade he's made, the underrated is the Derek Favors, a kid that can play the 4 and 5.
Right? No one's talking about that.
No one's really talking about that, and I think that was fantastic. So I think the Pelicans have added shooting in J.J. Redick, and now you're talking about one of the best defensive backcourts in Lonzo Ball and also Drew Holiday. And why it fits to me is because Drew can play off the basketball. And then you have Josh Hart. I mean, he's done a fantastic job right now. And you still have Jahlil Okafor and some guys, but I think you look what Griff did, he's done a fantastic job.
It's unbelievable when you look at this depth chart
Yes.
because I think that people are so Zion excited about him.
Rightfully so.
Correct. But there's obviously more pieces to that puzzle.
And that puzzle to me is that Derek Favors, a veteran, has been around, and I think his best position right now is 5. You know, the way he played, couldn't get a chance to, I guess, play his natural position. You know, when you have a Rudy Gobert in Utah, they try to play them
Right.
together. Also, be careful, a sneaky one is Christian Wood. He is a kid that can play. Watch out for him in this season.
Okay, all right. You heard it here first. Steve Smith said it. Watch out for Christian Wood. So the Pelicans will be very exciting. Another team that we saw play yesterday on Monday were the Boston Celtics. They have a young man on their roster who went undrafted this past NBA draft by the name of Taco Fall. If you have not heard that name, you've been under a rock. He is 7'6" and his wingspan is over 8 feet. What'd you think about his performance?
I loved him. I mean, you watched him, you know, throughout his career when he was coming out of high school, the height, more of a project. Then you got a chance to watch his maturation in college, and you see he has worked on his body, his footwork. He is a kid, and yes, at that tall, he is bigger than everybody, but it's just not a kid that's a project. He really has some go-to moves and can be a game changer for the Boston Celtics. You like what they did also, you know, obviously losing Kyrie, but they've gained Kemba, they've gained some great draft picks. This team has a chance to get right back to where we thought they were the season before.
Well, last season, everyone agreed that they probably underachieved. But take a look at what they're saying now. They're striking gold in Vegas here in the Summer League. Taco Fall with his 2 games and his numbers, and Carson Edwards has been playing well.
You know, Carson Edwards, I know he has a chip on his shoulder. He's just played the right way and had success. I mean, everybody says he's an undersized guard as a 2-guard position. But all I keep seeing in his years in Purdue, putting up huge numbers, putting up fantastic numbers, you know, in the tournament. And then now you can see the first 2 games. He has not let up. 17 points, and he's 13 for 27, shooting a high percentage. Love the way he's approaching the game and playing.
Undersized guard, I mean, is there such a thing in today's NBA? I mean, it's...
Not at all. I mean, if you can play, you can play.
All right, so let's take a look at the Boston depth chart, because we talked a little bit about it. You touched on it. No Kyrie Irving, but they did get Kemba Walker, who's a 3-time All-Star. He's someone who can win you games, and we're not forgetting about Hayward now. He should be 100%.
Yes, I mean, you said it best. I mean, Kemba Walker, and everyone would say, you know, Kyrie or Kemba, who's better? I mean, this is fantastic for the Boston Celtics to lose talent like a Kyrie Walker, but then pick up a Kemba Walker. You have Jason Tatum. You have a Cantor, who's a sneaky pickup because they lost Al Horford. We know he had a fantastic year for the Portland Trailblazers at the 5, and you said it best, and I'm glad you pointed out. Gordon Hayward, healthy, could be a difference maker for them because he had a decent year last year, good year, but he just didn't have his timing back. So I'm looking forward to watching him.
And Kemba Walker, he hasn't played anywhere but in Charlotte. But one thing we know about him is he likes to win.
And he does. And I'm so excited to get a chance to watch Kemba. Nothing against the Charlotte team, but he has not played with this type of talent. So you'll have even more spacing. So I'm looking forward to watching Kemba. And also he had guys that can get out and run with him, and also do a nice job of being able to finish when you have a guy like that.
It's going to be exciting. I mean, we thought the Boston Celtics were going to be spectacular last season. They probably underachieved. This season, I'm more excited to see how they will gel with these new parts. I'm interested to see. And, of course, with the addition of Kara Lawson to their bench, you know, I obviously have an interest in that. All right, let's take a look at the San Antonio Spurs. Another one of your former teams. They have a young player who you think could be pretty good, right?
Stephanie, I've been raving about him since I first watched him his freshman year in college. Had some injuries, but when you watch a guy like Lonnie Walker, he has a body of a Joe Johnson. He has the skill set to be able to create his own and also the size as a young guy to be able to flat out score. Look at these numbers. He's been doing it all summer league. You know, he is the reason why I think the San Antonio Spurs have a chance to even grab home court advantage in the Western Conference.
Okay, that's a big statement right there. Here's a look at, I love this. Look at this. Walker for Texas Ranger.
Do you look at his numbers? 30 he's averaging in summer league. I know it's just summer league.
That's crazy, though.
But that's still 30.
Percentages, though.
And that's what I love. And the Spurs, you're going to shoot a high percentage with the Spurs. You're not taking bad shots.
I guess you know a little something about that.
I do.
All right, well, Steve Smith, this has been fun.
Yes.
We'll have a lot more of the bounce, though, of course, from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League Special Edition. You're bouncing. You guys make sure you stay tuned. You know where to catch us on the Yahoo Sports app and also on yahoosports.com from Las Vegas, Tuesday and Wednesday. It's The Bounce.